Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. These days, a lot of top clubs are seriously lacking one key role in midfield, the deep-lying playmaker. For example, Real Madrid and Man United, they're actively searching for someone who can fill that gap. So what exactly is a deep-lying playmaker? And why is this role so hard to find at the elite level? At its core, a deep-lying playmaker is someone who can consistently and safely move the ball from deeper areas into high-value zones, and help the team remain structurally solid the moment possession is lost. It's a rare skill set, and that's why players like this are so valuable. In today's video, we're diving into what truly defines a top-class deep-lying playmaker. I'll propose the key qualities that top teams are looking for. Alright, let's start with the basics: volume and control. This is the most fundamental metric. Top-level deep-lying playmakers serve as the hub of ball progression. They must be able to take control of the game through a high volume of touches and passes. The more touches and passes they make, the more control they dictate the team's rhythm and the structure of each possession. So what are we looking at here? We're talking around 70 to 100 plus passes per 90 minutes. And lots of touches equals control. It's that simple. A top-level deep-lying playmaker needs a pass completion rate above 90% and should rank in the 90th to 99th percentile for their position in both passing and touch volume. Now, let me give you two examples of players who absolutely own this category. Toni Kroos, the master of control. Before he retired, Kroos was basically a cheat code at Real Madrid. He ranks in the top 1% for passing among all players in the league. In his final 2023-24 season, he averaged 112 touches per 90 minutes, 106 passes per 90. And get this, 97% accuracy on short passes, 94% on medium passes, and he still hit 18.5 long balls per game at a 76% success rate. When the ball's at Kroos' feet, it's safe. He's not just a passer, he's a pressure valve, a metronome, a play stabilizer. You build structure through him. Vitinha, PSG's engine room. Then there's Vitinha. In PSG's 2025 Champions League winning campaign, he averaged 95 touches and 87 passes per 90 minutes, with a completion rate of 92.8%. That tells you everything. He's become PSG's main connector, the guy everything flows through. Section 2, press resistance. Can he handle the heat? Now let's talk about something absolutely crucial in modern football: press resistance. In today's game, high pressing is everywhere. And guess who's usually the prime target? Yep, the deep-lying playmaker. If you're playing that role, you're getting hunted. So the big question is, can he keep the ball under pressure and still move it forward? It's not just about surviving the press, it's about beating it. What are we looking for? 1. Progressive carries. Can he drive the ball forward when passing lanes are shut down? It's not about running 30 yards like a box-to-box number 8, it's about breaking that first line when needed. One good carry can change the whole picture. 2. Take on success %. No one's expecting him to dribble like a winger. But in tight spaces, under pressure in his own half, that ability to beat one man and open up space, it's golden. 3. Dispossessed. How often he loses the ball. This one's huge. The fewer times he loses possession, especially in dangerous areas like his own half or the defensive half space, the better. A safe deep-lying playmaker is a valuable one. Example player, Pedri, the low-gravity escape artist. When Pedri drops deeper to help build up play, his press resistance is absolutely textbook. Sure, his passing volume doesn't quite hit the levels of Kroos or Vitinha, but when it comes to carrying the ball out of pressure, he's elite. In the 2024-25 Champions League, Pedri averages 2.52 progressive carries per 90, that's near the top for his position. Why? Because he's got this insanely low center of gravity that lets him spin out of tight spaces like it's nothing. He also ranks right near the top in successful take-ons per 90 and take-on success rate. That said, there is one downside: he does lose the ball a bit more often than you'd like, ranking only above 29% of players in terms of ball retention. Section 3. Progression, from safe passer to game changer. Now here's where we separate the safe passers from the real playmaking engines. It's not enough to just recycle possession with sideways passes, A true deep-lying playmaker needs to move the ball forward and actually break lines. That's what makes the difference at the top level. So the big question here is, can he consistently get the ball from the back into dangerous attacking zones and create the next layer opportunity from deep? What are we looking at? 1. Progressive passes. These are passes that push the ball significantly toward the opponent's goal. Top DLPs usually hit 6 to 13 per 90. That's the sweet spot for elite progression. 2. Passes into the final third. This shows how well a player connects midfield to attack. If you're not regularly feeding the final third, you're not driving the play forward. These two metrics are primary indicators of how much a player helps move the team forward. Top-level deep-lying playmakers consistently rank between the 85th and 99th percentile. 3. Long pass completion percent. When facing a high press, top teams need their deep-lying playmaker to break pressure, and one of the best ways to do that is with a well-placed switch or long ball. 4. Key passes. A key pass is defined as a pass that directly results in a shot attempt. 5. Shot-creating actions. This include the two offensive moves right before a shot, such as passes, takenes, or even drawing fouls. One player can even get credit for multiple actions, and the shooter can too. Next, here are two paid metrics. 6. Line-breaking passes. Progressive passes show distance, but line-breaking passes show intent. Did the pass actually split defenders and collapse structure? Or was it just another stat padder in midfield? This metric shows real penetration. 7. XT, VEP, and other value metrics. In 2024-25, advanced metrics like XT, expected threat, and VEP have become key to measuring midfield influence, especially for deep-lying playmakers. These stats help track how often a player moves the ball into valuable zones, even if they're not the one delivering the final assist. Representative players, Toni Kroos and Calhanoglu, two masters of progression. Let's bring all that theory to life with two perfect examples. First, Toni Kroos, still the benchmark. In the 2023-24 season, even at the tail end of his career, Kroos puts up numbers that are just unreal. He averages a staggering 12.29 progressive passes per 90, top 1%. He also delivers 13.86 passes into the final third every 90 minutes, again, top 1%. And despite playing so many long balls, 18 per 90, to be exact, his long pass success rate sits at 76%. What's more, his key passes per 90 put him in the top 3%, and his shot-creating actions in the top 7%. Kroos led La Liga in 2022-23 for line-breaking passes in the opposition half, 7.7 per 90, with 83% accuracy, more than any other player that season. That's pure control and penetration. Kroos doesn't just move the ball, he shapes the game. Second, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, Inter's deep-lying driver. Now let's talk about Çalhanoğlu, who's quietly become one of Serie A's best deep-lying playmakers at Inter. In the 2024-25 season, he averages 8 progressive passes per 90, that's top 3% in Serie A. 6.66 passes into the final third, which puts him in the top 7%. And when it comes to long balls, he attempts over 12 per game, with a 67.7% completion rate. For expected threat, XT, this Turkish midfielder has generated a total of 300.97, ranking him among the top 5 in Serie A. Meanwhile, he delivers 2.27 key passes per 90, top 1%, and 4.58 shot-creating actions, top 1%. That's elite-level output. Hakan Çalhanoğlu checks all the boxes for a modern deep-lying playmaker. He breaks lines, keeps play ticking, and creates constant forward momentum. Section 4. Defensive work rate and positioning. Can he hold the line? Alright, let's talk defense. Now, a deep-lying playmaker doesn't need to be a destroyer flying into tackles all over the pitch, that's not the job. But, he does need to offer real defensive stability. If you're sitting in front of the backline, you can't be a passenger when the ball is lost. If he's not at least in the 60th to 80th percentile defensively for his position, that's a problem. Because at the top level, any weakness in that zone gets exposed almost immediately. So what are we looking at? 1. Ball recoveries. It shows awareness and positioning. The best DLPs read the game and win it back cleanly. 2. Interceptions plus tackles. Doesn't have to be high volume, but it needs to be effective. Smart positioning beats reckless challenges. 3. Dribbled past. If opponents are constantly skipping past him, that's a red flag. You want a DLP who holds his ground, not one who gets turned every time pressure comes. 4. Blocks and defensive pressure. Is he stepping up to block shots or cut off passing lanes? Is he applying pressure in transition moments? These small things add up, especially when the team's trying to prevent quick breaks. Representative player, Manuel Locatelli, Juve's deep-lying playmaker with excellent defensive ability. In the 2025-26 Serie A season, he averages 5.64 ball recoveries per 90, ranking in the 88th percentile. His combined tackles and interceptions sit at 4.47 per 90, that's the 94th percentile, elite stuff. He wins the ball off dribblers 0.96 times per 90, putting him in the 70th percentile. He also makes 1.06 blocks per 90, 71st percentile, and contributes 2.45 clearances, which lands him in the 91st percentile. As for his pressures per 90, public data for the 2025-26 season can't be found at the moment, but given the rest of his output, it's safe to say he's doing more than holding his own. Locatelli's showing exactly what you want from a modern deep-lying playmaker defensively. He's not just sitting there looking tidy on the ball, he's actively breaking up play and protecting the back line. Overall, I think a top-level deep-lying playmaker needs to satisfy at least the 4 key requirements I outlined above. Players who truly fit this role are extremely rare in modern football. It takes a significant amount of game time and experience to develop the required skill set. But for elite teams, there simply isn't enough time available to allow for that kind of learning curve.